with Thrive Counseling, on average, how long does a treatment take? If somebody's calling you now, how long do you work with that individual on average?
On average, we say about 10 sessions. So those 10 sessions can take place generally over, 3 to 6 months. Some people might come weekly or bi-weekly or change that up over the course of time. And that we typically find that most people are able to work, to some extent through something in that point in time. We can extend it if there's something, more significant that has to happen, or if there's multiple issues. But typically, I'd say 3 to 6 months would be the most common thing that people do.
Yeah. So Chondrena, is that individual support or is that group support?
I'm talking primarily about our individual program, but we do have group support and also family and, dynamics family counseling as well too. We do have some specialized groups for things like we have something called DBT. It's called dialectical behavioral therapy. And that's for people who are struggling to kind of keep their emotions regulated, who maybe have too dramatic kind of ups and downs in how they respond to things, and to try to teach them some skills around how to keep their emotions a bit more regulated. So that's why very popular group, because a lot of people struggle with those issues.
You will be surprised how many people go through highs and lows. Absolutely. And do you work closely then with a physician if they need to have any type of medication, or do you just work with them on how to regulate themselves?
These would be the non-medication aspects of those things. So these are more the skills about how you calm yourself down and how you think about things and respond to things. We will certainly work with the family doctors or the psychiatrist if needed, but typically that part of the system is a little beside us versus integrated fully into how we work. Many of our people, have that relationship with another care provider, but this is more the talk therapy side of it.
Yeah, and let's deep a little bit on this one, because I know a lot of people that goes through a lot of highs and lows, highs and lows. So for those folks that are listening, someone who maybe they suffer from that, what is your recommendations? Like, what would you tell somebody they should do to help regulate their moods?
Well, there's a couple of things. I think in a situation where that's the primary problem, they should also be checking in with the family doctor, because there may be some medications. This is an option that should be considered, at least to see if that was something that could help. So, I mean, a good way of connecting, either if you have a family doctor or not, would be there's another line that I didn't mention before that does general intake for mental health services in Halton, and that's OneLink. And if someone was to call OneLink, they can often help them decide what's the best place to start in terms of getting some mental health services. So I think that's an excellent one. Talking to your family doctor is also an excellent place, because they often can make referrals for you too, depending on where exactly you live in Halton. So I think that's an important feature. And then the things that we tend to teach, like in counseling, are things like considering things like meditation. There's lots of skills that we call grounding skills to kind of bring you up or bring you down. Sometimes people have a lot of our clients have some trauma history. So sometimes people need to dig a little bit deeper and deal with those kinds of things that may have happened to them in the past that continue to affect their ability to, to be well in their day-to-day lives. So it's really individualized, but what I will say is there are a tremendous amount of things that the average person can just learn themselves to be able to do, to be able to improve how they manage their feelings.